You know you've made it when your ex-wife's new boyfriend uses your lawn as his personal art project. I'm Ethan Carter, 42 years old, IT systems analyst, recently divorced, and currently staring at my mailbox, which has been decorated with what appears to be neon orange spray paint, spelling out loser in letters large enough to be seen from space. This is the third incident this month. Last week, my trash cans were tipped over and emptied across my driveway. The week before that, someone egged my windows at 3 in the morning. Welcome to my post-divorce life in suburban Connecticut. The divorce from Vanessa became final 6 months ago. 20 years of marriage, gone because she decided her gym trainer Dean Russo was more exciting than her boring IT husband. Dean's 32, all muscles and hair gel, with the personality of a protein shake, and about half the nutritional value. I'm standing on my front porch in my bathrobe at 7 in the morning, coffee in hand, contemplating the mailbox situation, when my neighbor Mrs. Ellison appears at her fence. "Oh, Ethan, not again," she says, her voice dripping with that particular blend of pity and gossip hunger that suburban neighbors have perfected over generations. "Morning, Mrs. Ellison. You know, I heard Vanessa at the coffee shop yesterday. She was with those awful friends of hers, Chloe and Marissa. They were laughing about something. I didn't want to say anything, but of course she wanted to say something. Mrs. Ellison lives for this stuff. What were they saying? Well, Chloe said something about how you couldn't keep up in bed or in life. I'm just repeating what I heard, you understand. I don't believe a word of it." I take a long sip of coffee. Thanks for letting me know. Are you going to call the police about your mailbox? Probably not much they can do without proof. But I'm thinking about proof now. I'm thinking about it very carefully. I spend that Saturday afternoon at Best Buy, dropping $400 on a home security system. Not the fancy professional installation kind. I'm an IT guy. I can handle this myself. 4 wireless cameras with night vision, motion detection, and cloud storage. By Sunday evening, I have them positioned to cover every angle of my property. My friend Pete comes over to help with the final setup. Pete's also in IT, works at the same company I do, and has the same dark sense of humor that comes from years of dealing with users who think the internet is broken when they haven't paid their cable bill. "So you're really going full paranoid suburban dad with this?" Pete asks, adjusting one of the cameras. I prefer appropriately cautious. "Dude, you've got more surveillance than a 7-Eleven. What are you expecting? A full-scale invasion?" "I'm expecting to catch whoever's been messing with my property." Pete grins. "You think it's the gym rat? Dean? Absolutely. He's been driving by my house at weird hours. I've seen his truck." "What's Vanessa's deal? She got the house she wanted in the divorce, right?" "That's a sore subject. Vanessa got the newer townhouse we'd bought as an investment property. I kept our original house, the one we'd lived in for 15 years. It needs work, but it's paid off and it's mine. The divorce settlement was actually pretty fair, legally speaking. Vanessa's a human resources manager, makes decent money. We split assets down the middle, no alimony either direction. But fair doesn't mean friendly. She's got what she wanted, I say. But apparently that includes making sure I'm miserable too. And that's the spirit of modern divorce right there. The cameras prove their worth within 48 hours. Tuesday night, 2:15 in the morning. My phone buzzes with a motion alert. I pull up the app and watch in real time as a figure in a dark hoodie approaches my mailbox. The night vision shows him clearly. Dean Russo, unmistakable even with the hood up. That distinctive tribal tattoo on his forearm catches the infrared light. But here's the interesting part. There's a car idling at the curb with its lights off. The camera angle is perfect. I can see right through the windshield. Vanessa's in the driver's seat. She's not just aware of what he's doing. She's the getaway driver. I watch as Dean shakes a can of spray paint and adds pathetic under yesterday's loser. Then he kicks the mailbox post for good measure, nearly breaking it. Vanessa's laughing in the car. I can see her shoulders shaking. I don't go outside. I don't confront them. I save the video to 3 different locations and go back to sleep. The next morning, I call Pete. "I've got them on camera, full face, clear as day, both of them. So call the cops." "And what? They get a slap on the wrist for vandalism?" Dean pays a fine and Vanessa acts like she had no idea what he was planning? "No, I want better than that." "Okay, I'm listening. I want to humiliate them. I want everyone in this neighborhood, everyone at Vanessa's work, everyone at Dean's gym to know exactly what kind of people they are." Pete's quiet for a moment. "You're going dark side. I respect that. What's the plan?" I spend the next week in reconnaissance mode. I document everything. 3 more incidents of vandalism, all caught on camera. Dean slashing my car tire in the grocery store parking lot. Vanessa spreading rumors at the local coffee shop. Mrs. Ellison reports these to me with obvious delight. Then I start my counteroffensive. Phase 1 is simple. Public embarrassment. I take the clearest footage of Dean vandalizing my mailbox and create a video compilation set to cheerful music. I post it to the neighborhood Facebook group with the caption, "Has anyone else been experiencing vandalism? I finally caught the culprit on camera. Please share if you've had similar issues." The response is immediate and beautiful. 47 comments in the first hour. Turns out, other people on our street have had mysterious property damage too. Mrs. Patterson's garden gnomes were smashed. The Johnsons' car was keyed. Everyone assumes it was random teenagers. Now they know it's a 32-year-old man with a gym membership and an anger management problem. The video gets shared to the broader community group, then to the local Crime Watch page. Within 24 hours, it's been viewed 3,000 times. Dean's Gym, Power Zone Fitness, gets tagged in about 50 comments. Phase 2 requires more creativity. I design a flyer on my computer. Den Russo, personal trainer, free consultation, specialties, vandalism, property damage, midnight cardio. References, multiple police reports. Contact, Power Zone Fitness. I print 50 copies and post them on telephone poles around the gym's neighborhood. I also create a fake Google review for Power Zone, carefully worded to avoid anything legally actionable. 1 star. One of your trainers was caught on camera vandalizing property in my neighborhood. Video evidence available. Maybe focus less on building muscles and more on building character? Dean retaliates, of course. He dumps an entire container of protein powder into my air conditioning vents. My house smells like artificial vanilla for 3 days. He also slashes 2 more of my tires, though he's smart enough to do it somewhere without cameras. I file a police report. Detective Monroe, a tired-looking woman in her 50s, takes my statement and watches my videos. "Mr. Carter, I can see you've been having problems with your ex-wife's boyfriend." That's one way to put it. I can also see you've been posting these videos online and putting up flyers around his workplace. Is that illegal? No, but it's not helping the situation. This looks like mutual harassment. He started it. Detective Monroe gives me a look that suggests she's heard this exact argument from kindergartners. I'm going to talk to both parties. I strongly suggest you stop the social media campaign and let us handle this officially. Of course, Detective. I have no intention of stopping. The next escalation comes from an unexpected source. I get a message on Facebook from a kid named Tyler, 17, who works the front desk at Power Zone Fitness. "Hey, Mr. Carter, I saw your videos. Dean's been bragging at the gym about teaching you a lesson. He told his buddy Marcus that he's planning something big when your ex-wife goes out of town next week. Thought you should know. That guy's a jerk anyway." I message back. "Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate the heads up. Vanessa has a work conference in Boston next week. 3 days, 2 nights. I saw it on her Facebook calendar. She never did change her privacy settings after the divorce. Time to prepare. I spend $200 at Home Depot. Motion-activated sprinklers, normally used to scare away deer. Industrial-strength adhesive mats, the kind they use in restaurants to keep floor mats in place. A dozen motion sensor lights, a portable air horn, and, this is the key purchase, a live streaming camera setup that can broadcast directly to Facebook. Pete helps me set everything up. "This is insane," he says, positioning a sprinkler head. "You know that, right? Insane would be doing nothing while they destroy my property. No, insane is turning your front yard into a Home Alone death trap. It's not a death trap. Nobody's going to get hurt. They're just going to get wet and embarrassed. And you're going to live stream it? To the Neighborhood Watch page. They deserve to see what their concerned citizens are doing at night." Pete shakes his head, but he's grinning. "You've gone full crazy ex-husband. I'm here for it." Wednesday night, Vanessa's car isn't in her driveway. Conference started today. I settle in to wait. Laptop open. Cameras ready. Live stream configured. Dean doesn't disappoint. At 1:47 a.m., his truck pulls up 2 houses down. He parks in the shadows, but my cameras catch everything. He's wearing all black this time, gloves on, carrying what looks like a bag of garbage and several cans of spray paint. I start the live stream to the neighborhood page. Within 30 seconds, I've got 12 viewers. Within a minute 47, Dean approaches my mailbox first. He's clearly planning to make this his masterpiece. He steps onto my lawn. The first motion sensor sprinkler hits him from the left, a powerful jet of cold water right in the face. He stumbles, surprised, and steps directly onto one of the adhesive mats. His foot sticks immediately. The second sprinkler activates, then the third. He's being hit from 3 directions now, trying to pull his foot free, slipping on the wet grass. The motion sensor lights all flash on at once, turning my front yard into a stadium. The air horn goes off, a piercing blast that probably wakes up half the street. I step out onto my porch, phone in hand, recording from a second angle. "Evening, Dean. Smile. You're on creep cam." He's trying to run now, but his shoe is stuck to the mat. He pulls his foot out of the shoe, hobbles toward his truck in one sock, still being pelted by sprinklers. The live stream viewer count is up to 234. Lights are coming on in neighboring houses. Mrs. Ellison appears on her porch in a bathrobe, phone out, recording. Dean makes it to his truck, soaking wet, missing a shoe, covered in mud. He peels out, tires squealing. The live stream chat is going absolutely crazy. "Is that Dean Russo from Power Zone? OMG, I know that guy. This is the best thing I've ever seen. Someone call the police." Someone does call the police. Detective Monroe arrives 20 minutes later, looking even more tired than before. By this time, I've got the sprinklers turned off, and I'm standing in my yard with about 8 neighbors, all of whom watched the live stream and came out to see the aftermath. Dean's stuck shoe is still attached to the adhesive mat, like a trophy. "Mr. Carter," Detective Monroe says, "we need to talk. He was trespassing on my property, Detective. I've got video evidence of multiple prior incidents. I installed a security system to protect myself." Security system? Is that what we're calling booby traps now? Motion-activated sprinklers are a standard home security measure. I'm sure you can verify that they're completely legal. She can verify that, because I checked, thoroughly. The live stream? I was concerned for my safety and wanted to document any further harassment. The neighborhood watch page seemed like the appropriate venue. Detective Monroe looks at the crowd of neighbors, all of whom are nodding supportively. Mrs. Ellison actually starts clapping. "Mr. Carter, this situation is getting out of hand. I agree completely. That's why I hope you'll be speaking to Dean about his repeated acts of vandalism and trespassing." Before she can respond, another car pulls up. Vanessa's car. She must have driven back from Boston when Dean called her. Vanessa storms across my lawn in heels and a business suit. Makeup perfect, hair perfect, fury radiating from every pore. "You bastard! You could have killed him! With sprinklers? I didn't realize Dean was the Wicked Witch of the West." The neighbors laugh. Vanessa's face goes red. "You're harassing us. You're posting lies online. You're stalking Dean at his work. I'm posting videos of actual crimes being committed against my property. If Dean doesn't want to be embarrassed, he should stop committing crimes. This is because you can't handle that I'm happy now. You can't stand that I moved on." Detective Monroe steps between us. "Mrs. Russo, it's still Carter, actually," Vanessa snaps. "I kept my name." "Miss Carter, I'm going to need you to calm down." "Calm down? He just assaulted my boyfriend. Your boyfriend was trespassing and attempting to vandalize Mr. Carter's property. I've seen the video evidence from previous incidents. This is an ongoing pattern of harassment directed at Mr. Carter." Vanessa's mouth opens and closes. She's not used to not being believed. In her HR job, she's the authority figure. People listen to her. Dean was just trying to talk to Ethan. At 2 in the morning? With spray paint and garbage? I hold up my phone, showing the live stream, which is still running. 347 people watched him trespass on my property, Vanessa. 347 people saw you drop him off 2 houses down. You're the getaway driver for vandalism. How's that going to look at work? Her face goes pale. She hadn't considered that angle. You're going to delete that video right now. It's already been downloaded by about 100 people. The internet is forever, Vanessa. You taught me that during our social media training at the company. Detective Monroe is writing in her notebook. "Miss Carter, were you aware of Mr. Russo's activities tonight?" No. I was in Boston. I just got back. Your car was seen in the area. I came back early. The conference was boring." Detective Monroe clearly doesn't believe her. "I'm going to recommend that both Mr. Russo and Mr. Carter here apply for restraining orders against each other. This situation needs to de-escalate before someone actually gets hurt." "I'm fine with that," I say immediately. Vanessa glares at me, then storms back to her car. As she's pulling away, I notice something on my phone. The live stream chat is exploding with new information. Someone's posted a link to Vanessa's LinkedIn profile. Someone else has identified her employer, the regional office of a national HR consulting firm. Multiple people are tagging the company's official Facebook page. This is going to be a problem for her. A big problem. HR managers are supposed to be above reproach, models of professional behavior. Having video evidence of you encouraging your boyfriend to commit crimes isn't a great look. The neighbors eventually disperse. Pete, who watched the whole thing from his car down the street, comes over once the police leave. Dude, that was legendary. Phase 3 complete. There's a Phase 4? Oh, absolutely. Over the next week, the consequences unfold beautifully. Dean gets put on probation at Power Zone Fitness. The gym's owner doesn't fire him. That would require admitting they employed someone caught committing crimes on camera. But his schedule gets cut to almost nothing. His private clients start canceling. Turns out people don't want a personal trainer who's known for vandalism and property destruction. Vanessa has it worse. Her employer launches an internal investigation after receiving multiple messages about the videos. While they can't fire her for her personal life, they can and do remove her from client-facing roles. No more representing the company at conferences. No more leading training sessions. She's moved to back office work, processing paperwork. Her friends Chloe and Marissa distance themselves. I know this because Mrs. Ellison reports seeing Vanessa eating lunch alone at the coffee shop, crying into her phone. I should feel bad about that. I don't. The restraining orders get approved. Dean has to stay 500 feet away from me and my property. Same for me regarding him. Vanessa isn't included in the order, but she's smart enough to stay away. For 2 weeks, things are quiet. Then Pete calls me at work. Dude, you need to see this. See what? Dean's Instagram. He's posting about how you ruined his life and how he's going to make things right. It's concerning. I checked Dean's Instagram. He's made it public, probably hoping his posts will go viral. They're rambling, angry, full of misspellings. The general theme is that I'm a psycho ex-husband who can't let go, and that he's going to settle this once and for all. He's going to do something stupid, Pete says. Yeah, he is. I call Detective Monroe. She's seen the posts too. Mr. Carter, I'm concerned about Mr. Russo's state of mind. These posts suggest he might be planning retaliation. What can you do about it? Not much, unless he makes a specific threat. But I'd recommend staying alert. Maybe stay with a friend for a few days? This is my house, detective. I'm not leaving. Then keep your doors locked and your phone nearby. I do better than that. I upgrade my security system. More cameras, including inside the house. A professional alarm system that connects directly to the police. Reinforced locks on all doors and windows. And I wait. Tyler from the gym messages me again. Dean's been talking about finishing what he started. He told Marcus he's going to trash your place for real this time. Thought you should know. Stay safe, man. I message back. Thanks, Tyler. When's he planning this? This weekend, I think. Saturday night. Your ex is going to help him. Of course she is. I call Pete. Saturday night. They're coming for the house. You need to call the police. And tell them what? That I got a tip from a teenager? That Dean's Instagram posts are concerning? They won't do anything until he actually commits a crime. So, what's your plan? I'm going to let him commit the crime, and I'm going to make sure everyone sees it. Saturday. I prepare like I'm defending a castle. Every camera is positioned perfectly. The live stream is ready to go, this time configured to broadcast to multiple platforms simultaneously. Facebook, YouTube, even TikTok. Pete's at his house, monitoring everything remotely as backup. I also do something I haven't done before. I call the local news station. I tell them I've been the victim of ongoing harassment, that I expect another incident tonight, and that I'll have video evidence. The weekend news producer sounds interested. If something happens, call us immediately. We can have a crew there in 20 minutes. At midnight, I'm in my living room, lights off, laptop open, watching the camera feeds. At 12:43, Dean's truck appears. But he's not alone this time. Vanessa's car is right behind him. And there's a third vehicle, a beat-up sedan I don't recognize. This isn't just Dean. He's brought friends. 4 people get out of the vehicles. Dean, Vanessa, Dean's gym buddy Marcus, and Marissa. Apparently she's back in Vanessa's good graces. They're carrying supplies. Spray paint, obviously. But also a baseball bat. Garbage bags full of something, and what looks like a crowbar. This is beyond vandalism. They're planning to break in. I call 911 first. There are 4 people attempting to break into my home. I have video evidence. They're in my yard right now. The dispatcher confirms police are on the way. Then I start the live streams. All 3 platforms, simultaneously. Then I call the news station. This is Ethan Carter. The harassment incident I called about? It's happening right now. 4 people are attempting to break into my home. We're sending a crew. I watch the feeds. Dean's approaching the front door with the crowbar. Vanessa's spray painting the garage door. Marcus is throwing garbage across my lawn. Marissa is filming on her phone. Apparently they want their own documentation. The live stream viewers are climbing rapidly. 100, 200, 500. Dean jimmies the crowbar into my doorframe. The reinforced lock holds, but the doorframe starts to crack. Time for phase 5. I've rigged the house with more than just cameras. Every room has a hidden Bluetooth speaker. With one click on my laptop, I activate them all simultaneously. The audio I've prepared starts playing at maximum volume throughout the house and yard. A compilation of Vanessa's voice from various recordings, her laughing about the vandalism, her telling Chloe Ethan deserves everything he gets, her telling Dean make sure you really mess up his place this time. I got those recordings from multiple sources. Some from videos people sent me. Some from Mrs. Ellison, who apparently recorded Vanessa's coffee shop conversations. All perfectly legal to use in my defense. The audio echoes through the neighborhood. Dean freezes. Vanessa drops the spray paint can. Then I turn on every light in and around the house. Motion sensors, porch lights, garage floods, even the Christmas lights I never took down from last year. My house lights up like a UFO landing site. Dean's still trying to pry open the door when the first police car arrives, sirens blaring. Then the second police car. Then the news van. The live stream viewer count is over 3,000 now. Detective Monroe is the first officer to reach Dean. Mr. Russo, step away from the door, now. Dean's still holding the crowbar. For a moment, I think he's going to do something really stupid. Then he drops it and puts his hands up. Vanessa tries to run. She actually tries to run in heels, spray paint on her hands, while being recorded by 3 news cameras and thousands of people online. She makes it about 15 feet before another officer stops her. Marcus and Marissa surrender immediately. Smart choice. I step out onto my porch. The news cameras immediately focus on me. "Mr. Carter," a reporter shouts. "Can you tell us what happened here? These 4 individuals have been harassing me for months. Vandalism, property destruction, threats. Tonight they escalated to attempted breaking and entering. Fortunately, I have extensive video documentation of everything. Why do you think they targeted you? My ex-wife has been unable to accept our divorce. She and her boyfriend have been conducting a campaign of harassment and intimidation. Tonight they decided to take it further." The reporter turns to where police are handcuffing Dean. "That's Dean Russo, correct? The personal trainer who was caught on video earlier this month vandalizing your property?" "That's correct. And the woman with him is your ex-wife?" "Vanessa Carter, yes. She's an HR manager at Sullivan Consulting Group. Or at least, she was." That last part is editorializing, but I can't resist. Detective Monroe approaches me while her colleagues process the 4 would-be burglars. "Mr. Carter, I need to see all your video footage." "Of course, Detective. I have tonight's footage, plus documentation of every previous incident. I also have audio recordings that demonstrate premeditation." Audio recordings? Vanessa discussing their plans. Dean making threats, all legally obtained from public places or my own property. She looks tired, but there's something like respect in her eyes. "You've been building a case. I've been defending myself. There's a difference." The news crew interviews several neighbors, all of whom corroborate my story. Mrs. Ellison gives a particularly dramatic account of months of harassment. The live stream chat is a wall of supportive comments. Dean, Vanessa, Marcus, and Marissa are all arrested and taken away in separate police cars. The charges are serious: attempted burglary, criminal trespass, vandalism, conspiracy. With all my video evidence and the fact that they were caught in the act, there's no way they're talking their way out of this. The news runs the story on their morning broadcast. By noon, it's been picked up by regional outlets. By evening, it's gone national. One of those crazy local news stories that cable channels love. Suburban revenge. Man outsmarts ex-wife and her boyfriend after months of harassment. The video clips go viral. Dean trying to break down my door while Vanessa's recorded voice plays in the background. Vanessa trying to run from police in heels. The whole thing is absurd enough to be entertaining, but serious enough to be news. Sullivan Consulting Group fires Vanessa Monday morning. They issue a press release about conduct unbecoming of our company values. Her LinkedIn profile disappears. Power Zone Fitness fires Dean. They also issue a press release, something about taking all allegations seriously and commitment to community safety. Marcus loses his job too. He worked at a bank, and banks don't like employees with arrest records. Marissa, who was apparently just along for the ride, gets off with probation after cooperating with prosecutors. The real consequences come at the court hearing. Dean and Vanessa both face criminal charges, with video evidence of the break-in attempt, plus my documentation of months of prior harassment. The prosecutor has an easy case. Dean takes a plea deal. 1 year in county jail, 3 years probation, restitution for all damages, and a permanent restraining order. His lawyer argues that he was under emotional distress, that I had provoked him with my social media posts. The judge isn't sympathetic. Mr. Russo, you were caught on camera attempting to break into someone's home. Your feelings about Mr. Carter's social media activity are irrelevant. You committed multiple crimes over several months. You're lucky the prosecutor is offering this deal. Dean takes the deal. Vanessa's hearing is more interesting. Her lawyer tries to argue that she was merely present, that she didn't actually participate in the break-in attempt. Then the prosecutor plays the audio recordings of her planning the vandalism, encouraging Dean, laughing about my misery. The judge is a woman in her 60s, who looks like she's heard every excuse in the book. Miss Carter, you're an HR professional. You know better than most people what appropriate workplace behavior looks like. You understand professional standards. And yet you chose to participate in a months-long harassment campaign against your ex-husband, culminating in an attempted burglary. The court finds your behavior particularly egregious, given your professional background. Vanessa gets 6 months in jail, 2 years probation, restitution, and a restraining order. Her lawyer tries to appeal. The appeal is denied. But the best part, the part one didn't expect, comes from my divorce attorney. She calls me 3 weeks after the arrests. Ethan, I've been reviewing your divorce settlement, specifically the property division. What about it? Vanessa got the townhouse, correct? Right. We bought it as an investment property 5 years ago. How was it paid for? Joint funds, from our savings. Why? I've been looking at the financial records from the divorce proceedings. The down payment for that townhouse came from an account that was supposed to be marital savings, but Vanessa made several large transfers from your joint checking account to her personal account in the 6 months before filing for divorce. Transfers you never authorized. I sit up straighter. What are you saying? I'm saying she may have used marital funds improperly. If we can prove she was hiding money or moving assets in anticipation of divorce, we can reopen the settlement. Can you prove it? With your permission, I'd like to subpoena her financial records. Given her current legal troubles, I think we have grounds. Do it. The investigation takes 2 months. My attorney discovers that Vanessa transferred $47,000 from our joint savings to her personal account over 6 months. She used that money for the down payment on the townhouse, then claimed in the divorce proceedings that the down payment came from her inheritance. It didn't. Her inheritance was much smaller and had been spent years ago on a failed business venture. She committed fraud during the divorce proceedings. My attorney files a motion to reopen the property settlement. Vanessa's attorney tries to fight it, but the evidence is overwhelming. Bank records, transfer receipts, emails where Vanessa discussed securing assets before filing for divorce. The judge is not pleased. Miss Carter, you deliberately misrepresented your financial situation during divorce proceedings. You hid marital assets and used them for personal benefit. This court takes such deception very seriously. The revised settlement is brutal for Vanessa. She has to sell the townhouse and split the proceeds with me, which means I get back my $47,000 plus half of any equity. She has to pay my legal fees for the reopened case, and the judge adds a finding of fraud to the court record, which means Vanessa will have trouble getting credit, loans, or professional licenses in the future. By the time everything is settled, Vanessa has lost her job, her home, her savings, her freedom, and her reputation. Dean's in jail. Marcus is working at a fast food restaurant. Marissa moved to another state, and me, I'm standing on my front porch on a Saturday morning, coffee in hand, looking at my freshly painted mailbox. No graffiti, No damage, just a clean, normal mailbox on a quiet suburban street. Mrs. Ellison waves from her garden. Morning, Ethan. Beautiful day. Morning, Mrs. Ellison. Pete pulls up in his car, gets out with a 12-pack of beer. Victory celebration? It's 10 in the morning. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Come on, man. You earned this. We sit on my porch, drinking beer in the morning sun, like the middle-aged suburban dads we are. So what now? Pete asks. You won. Total victory. Ex-wife destroyed, boyfriend in jail, house paid off, money in the bank. What's next? I'm thinking about dating again. Yeah? Anyone in mind? There's a woman in accounting at work. Sarah. She seems nice. Nice is good. Does she have any crazy exes or criminal boyfriends? Not that I know of. Then she's already an upgrade. We sit in silence for a moment, enjoying the peace. You know, Pete says, when this all started, I thought you were going to do something stupid. Get yourself arrested, or worse. I thought about it, but you didn't. You played it smart. Legal, documented, public. You made them destroy themselves. They destroyed themselves. I just made sure everyone was watching. That's the part that kills me. You didn't actually do anything illegal. You just defended your property and documented their crimes. And somehow, that was enough to completely ruin them. The best revenge is letting people face the consequences of their own actions. That's very zen. I read it on a fortune cookie. Pete laughs. So no regrets? Not even a little? I think about that. Do I regret any of it? The surveillance, the public humiliation, the legal warfare, the systematic destruction of Vanessa's life? No, I say finally. No regrets. They came after me. They tried to make me the victim. I just refused to play that role. And now I move on. I fix up this house, I date Sarah from accounting, I live my life. And if Vanessa or Dean or anyone else wants to start something again, I gesture to the cameras still mounted around my property. I'll be ready. Pete raises his beer. To being ready. To being ready. We clink bottles and drink. The sun is warm. The neighborhood is quiet. My mailbox is intact. My house is mine. My life is mine. Sometimes the good guys win. Sometimes revenge is served cold and legal and absolutely devastating. Sometimes you don't need to throw a punch to win a fight. You just need to be smarter, more patient, and more prepared than your enemies. Vanessa wanted to play games with my house and my life. She lost. Game over.